उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे, भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण। कैसे तेरा नाम भी आए, कैसे तुम्हारी लगन लगाए, कैसे तेरा नाम भी आए, कैसे तुम्हारी लगन लगाए, तेरे जगा दो ज्ञान तुम्हारी शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण। पंकमतों की सुनो सुनो बातें, रात्रि तक पहुँच मना। पंकमतों की सुनो सुनो बातें, रात्रि तक पहुँच मना। बेटा भी जान तुम्हारी शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे, भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण। तू ही श्यामला कृष्ण मुरारी, राम तू ही गणपति त्रिपुरारी, तू ही श्यामला कृष्ण मुरारी, राम तू ही गणपति त्रिपुरारी, ऐसे तेरे ज्योति दाना हम दिनों को शरण लगाना। हे प्रभु दया निदान तुम्हारी शरण परे, उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे, भव पार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, शरण परे, उद्धार करो भगवान तुम्हारी शरण।
He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, जग में साचो तेरो नाम, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram. तू ही माता, तू ही पिता है, तू ही माता, तू ही पिता है। तू ही माता, तू ही पिता है, तू है राधा का श्याम। हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम। तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी। तू अंतर्यामी सबका स्वामी, तेरे चरणों में चारों धाम। हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम। तू ही जगदाता विश्वविदाता, तू ही जगदाता विश्वविदाता। तू ही जगदाता विश्वविदाता, तू ही सारा का श्याम। हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, हे राम, जग में साचो तेरो नाम। हे राम, 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 हे राम। Sound 1, 2. बोले श्रमापति महादेव की जय, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। प्रिय भक्तजन, शुभ स्वागतम and welcome to this evening's Sandhya as you join with members of this most wonderful family in celebrating the life of the father of this home. This evening, my dear friends and devotees, We are about to join in a beautiful pravachan, a wonderful katha taken from the golden pages of the Shri Ram Charitramanas. Before joining in pravachan and katha, of course, joining a beautiful bhajan and kirtan, glorifying the divine Lord and Master of the universe. This evening, I invite you all to please clasp hands together as you close your physical eyes, as you join in pratna and prayer to the feet of Bhagwan. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. He Ram, He Ram, He Ram. हमें दया करो. ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः. ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमो नमः. ओम श्री गुरु चरण कमलेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्री गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Salutations to Lord Ganesh. He is Pratham Deva Puja. He is Mangala Murti Moria, Mahaganapati, the first deity to be worshipped. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Surya Koti Samaprabha, Nirviganam Kurume Deva, Sarvakarishu Sarvara, Gachananam Bhutaganari Sevitam, Kapita Jambu Palasara Vakshitam, Umasutam Sokavinashakarikam, Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam. Salutations to the Holy Ramayana. Om Varananam Marata Sanganam Rasanam Chandasamapi Mangalanam Chakarataro Vande Vani Vinayako. Ramaye Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nataya Sitaye Pate Namo Namaha. Salutations to the Holy Ramayana. Jehi Sumirata Siddhi Hoy Gananayaka Kari Varavarana Kahanu Anu Grahaso Bodhi Rasi Shubha Guna Sayana. Moka Hoi Vacha Pangu Charaya Giri Varagrahana Jasu Kripa Sudaya Dravahu Sakala Kali Maladayana. Nihila Sarora Husham Tahduna Aruna Ba Rejanayana Tahaho Somama Urana Sarachirasa Garasayana Kumnayamdu Samari करहो कृपा मादनमयना बंदो गुरु परगंजा कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरे माहा मोहा तमपूज जासो भजन रवि करनिकरा पावन पावन कुमार कलपान पावक ज्ञान ज्ञान जासो हृदय आगर बसहि राम साक्षापदर. This evening, my dear friends and devotees, as we embark upon a beautiful Katham Pravachan, as we are about to commence Pravachan with clasped hands and salutations to the lotus-like feet of our Guru, it is said that the Guru is the one who leads us out of the darkness of this material world. The Guru is the one to lead us to Mukti, to Moksha, to oneness with our Supreme Lord. This evening, salutations to our Guru. Shri Guru Charana Sarovar Nijhamana Muku Dasudan Barano Ragu Baravimala Yasha Jodayaka Palachan Bonahina Tanuchan Sumbiro Pavana Kumar Balabudhi Vedya Devu Mohi Harahu Kale Shavikasiyapati Ramachandra Ki Jai Umapati Mahadev Ki Jai Vindravana Krishna Chandra Ki Jai Odisha Jagannath Ki Jai Pavan Sutta Hanuman Ki Jai Siyapati Ramachandra Ki Jai Sharanam Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Shri Ram Pure Siyapati Ramachandra Ki Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki. My dear friends and devotees, once more again Swagatam and welcome to this evening's Sandhya. Let me take the opportunity to say a special welcome as well to all those joining with us via our live stream on Media Concepts 29 and of course on my Facebook page as well. This evening as we join in Ramayana Katha, Goswami Tulsidas Ji, he tells to us that once there lived the nephew of Raja Dasrath by the name of Sarvan Kumar. Sarvan Kumar, both parents were blind. And as Sarvan parents were blind, the great rishis and munis told to Sarvan Kumar to take his parents to 108 places of pilgrimage. And performing dhyan and puja and worship, they will regain their eyesight. Imagine both parents are blind. In today's world, our parents are not blind. Sometimes they may be ill. And what do? We refuse to take care of them sometimes. If one parent is blind, Jai Bhagwan, we feel as though it's a great burden on us. Imagine both parents are blind. But Sarvan Kumar, his love and his faith in his parents was untouchable. So Sarvan Kumar, he got a beautiful piece of wood and created two baskets where he placed his mother on one side and his father on the other. Placing them on his shoulder, very strong fellow, he would take them from place to place in pilgrimage. And one day, whilst taking them in pilgrimage, Sarvan Kumar's parents started to feel thirsty. He would always have a goblet of water, but it had run out. But Sarvan Kumar saw a stream nearby and decided to stop there and to fetch some water. So he placed both parents under a banyan tree. And placing them there, he says, "O Mata, Pita, I'm going to fetch the water. I want you to remain here. And I'll return with this water to quench your thirst." And as Sarvan Kumar takes the goblet and he goes to that stream, Goswami Tulsidasji tells to us what takes place this evening. Jaya Rama Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Rama Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. लखन कहे कछु बचन कटोरा, दशरथ पुनि मोहानी हो रहा है। बोलो जय राम श्री रामा, जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय रामा। सरवन कुमार ने सहपत देहा, माता पिता ता लखन रखीहा। बोलो जय राम श्री रामा, जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। प्रभु श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। Goswami Tulsidas, she says, Dasarath is a prince. At that time when he's roaming through the forest, he had now finished mastering the art of archery. And Sarvan Kumar, just as anyone, if you now get your license and you get a vehicle, what's the first thing you want to do? You want to drive. You could drive whole day, you could drive whole night. Sarvan Kumar is taking the goblet, and as he goes to fetch the water, Dasarath is passing with that horse, with the bow and arrow. When you place a jar into a barrel of water, it makes a sound, isn't that so? As he places the goblet, it creates a sound. Dasarath, my dear friends, was so skilled in archery that by the mere sound of anything releasing the arrow in that direction, he would capture it. And the sound that the goblet is making is sounding as though an animal is drinking water. So Dasarath takes the bow and arrow and aiming it towards the direction in which his sound is coming, he releases it. And as he releases the arrow, he is waiting to hear the ball. But instead what he hears, Goswami Tulsidas, she says, he hears a cry. He hears the cry of Sarvan Kumar. He jumps off the horse and immediately he runs to the stream. And there he sees Sarvan Kumar lying with the arrow in his chest. Dasarath cannot even find words. He says, "Oh Sarvan, tell me, what can I do?" And Sarvan Kumar says, "My parents, they are thirsty. They are sitting beneath the nearby banyan tree. Please take that water, as he's gasping for breath, and quench their thirst. Then and only then tell them what happened to me. But oh Dasarath, be very careful. Be very careful how you tell my father you know him. His father is a great rishi, but he has a high temper. And you know that my father, he will put a strap on you. So be very careful of the words that you utter. Always remember, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And so, he says, O Dasarath, before leaving, please take this arrow out of my chest and allow me to die peacefully. And Dasarath, holding the arrow, tears flowing from his eyes. Why? Sarvan Kumar is his nephew. Sarvan Kumar's mother is Raja Dasarath's sister. And there, he takes off the arrow and tears is flowing from his eyes. The blood oozing out of the body of Sarvan Kumar, he dies peacefully. And now Dasarath takes this kamandal, and as he's going towards the parents, he doesn't know what he's going to say. When you have to give someone the news that somebody passed away, it is the hardest news to give. Imagine you have to tell parents that I now shot your son. Jai Bhagwan. Dasarath, he's emotional, but as he's walking, the parents could hear the footsteps coming. And the mother says, Sarvan Beta, he doesn't answer. She calls again and yet he doesn't answer. He takes the water, he places it in front of them. But as the mother takes her hand to hold the goblet, to hold that kamandal, as she feels the hand holding it, she pulls back. She says, this is in the hands of my son. Who are you? And then he says, I am Dasarath. She says, tell me, where is my son? And he tells her, please drink this water. Fulfill your son's wish. But she can't drink that water. Any mother that is sitting here would know that when your child is in danger, you will know that. And when something has happened to your child, even though you're at home, you will know that. And if your children is in pain or they are sick, could you eat? Could you drink water? No. She can't. And so Dasarath, he says, he explains that he was practicing, he was trying this archery, and then the arrow shot Sarvan. The father doesn't utter a word. He says, take me to my son. And as they take him to the son, my dear friends, the parents pass their hand over the body of Sarvan Kumar, recognizing now that that is my son. Recognizing that that is Sarvan Kumar, tears begin to flow from their eyes. And the father says, O Dasarath, prepare to cremate the body of my son. But I want to tell you one thing. Just as I will die out of grief for my son, the day will come when you too will die out of grief for your son. Karma pradanik samrata. What goes around, comes around. It is called karma. We must be very careful about the things that we do. We must be very careful about the things that we say, my dear friends, because it has a way in coming back to us. And so, performing the rites and the rituals, both parents have died out of grief. Dasarath is now the king of Ayodhya, and he doesn't have one son, but he has 4 sons. And so, Goswami Tulsidas Ji tells to us, as Raja Dasarath now he is old in age, he is about to give up the kingdom, hand over the kingdom to his son. Who is that son he is about to give back the kingdom to? We listen through the medium of Katha. Hari ho Rama milana kabahoy, Ange savala ge rahe. हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरही हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरही देहि अवासर रघुबीर राका देहि अवासर रघुबीर राका केवत प्राहि नवाओ केवत प्राहि नवाह अंग सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरहे Raja Dasarath, he thinks it's time now to hand over the kingdom. Obviously, he's going to give the kingdom now to his eldest son. Who is the eldest son of Raja Dasarath? Shri Ram. And he makes an announcement that he's going to give the kingdom now and throne this kingdom to Shri Ram to become the king and to rule this kingdom of Kosala. And as he made this announcement, Mata Kekehi, Sumitra, Kausalya Maya, Bharat, Lakshman, Shatrughan, all of the ministers, they are all happy. But my dear friends and devotees, whenever these things are taking place, there's always someone who isn't pleased. The servant of Kekehi, Mantara, isn't pleased. Mantara is the entrusted servant to Kekehi Maya, the mother of Bharat. Mantara took care of Bharat from a little child. And so she calls Kekehi, and what she says, Katha tells to us. Raghukula lalita chal ke yaha Raghukula lalita chal ke kaha Bharat dekha taraha o Bharat dekha taraha ang sava lag rahe Hari ho Ram milan kab hoye अंग सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरहे सुता बचन सुनता हिम्मा सुता बचना सुनता हिम्मा पारुदरनी उरहाओ पारुदरनी उरहांग सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरहे हरि हो राम मिलन कब होए अंग सवाला गिरहे श्यापति रामचंद्र की जय मेरे फ्रेंड्स Mantara, the entrusted servant to Kekehi Maya, had mined Bharat from a little child. She had that motherly love towards Bharat. And she felt to herself that Ram shouldn't be the king of Ayodhya, but Bharat should be the king. So she tells Kekehi Maya, she says, Maya, don't you want Bharat to be the king? Don't you want your son to be the king? Why didn't you object? And Kekehi says, Mantara, Ram is just like my son. Ram grew up in front of me, and Ram is just like my son. In today's world, how many of us live like this? How many of us live like long time with our neighbors' children? You treated them as though they were your children. Remember those days when the neighbor children would come and they would get food to eat here? And if they did something wrong, you could hit them 2 lash. And the neighbor would tell you you should hit them 3. Don't try it nowadays, eh? My dear friends and devotees, Kekehi Maya says, Ram is very near to me, just as my son. And then Mantara begins to infuse the mind of Kekehi now. What if when Ram begins to rule, he wants you all out of the kingdom? Negative thoughts she begins to plant into the mind of Kekehi. And Kekehi begins to think. She says, but how? How would I get Raja Dasarath to give the kingdom now to Bharat? He has already announced that the kingdom will be given to Ram. And Mantara begins to smile. She says, remember when Dasarath was on the battlefield and the chariot wheel came out? And you held the chariot. And he won that war and became victorious. And upon winning the war, he told you that he will give you 2 boons. And at any time you could use these 2 boons. And you never used it. Now is your time. Kekehi, with a confused mind, she went before Raja Dasarath. And with clasped hands she says, my Lord Pranam, remember the 2 boons on the battlefield? And he says, yes. He says, remember I told you anytime you want those 2 boons, you will have it. She says, I am ready. He says, ask for anything, it shall be yours. The first thing Kekehi Maya says, I want Ram to go into the forest for 14 years. Why 14 years? 14 years she thought is enough time for the citizens to forget a little bit about Ram and to grow attached now to Bharat. Dasarath felt as though an arrow shot him in his chest. Just as the arrow had shot Sarvan Kumar, he felt as though an arrow shot him in his chest. She says, and the second boon, I want Bharat to become the king of Ayodhya. Raja Dasarath cannot say no. You know why? He lives by his word. Raghukula riti sada chaliyaye prana na jaye para vachana na jaye. When you give your word, it is near and dear to you, just as your breath. Whenever you make a promise, my dear friends, you must stand by your promise. Never go back on your word. When you stand by a promise, no matter how difficult it is, it shows integrity, it shows respect. My dear friends, never go against your words. Whenever you make a promise, stand by it. He says, thus too, so it shall be. Immediately he is feeling hurt, his heart is aching inside. And as he calls Ram, he says, oh Ram, it is the wish of your mother Kekehi that you go into the forest for 14 years and that Bharat be given the throne. Sri Ram in clasped hands, he says, Pita, if this is the wish of my mother Kekehi, then so it shall be. Ram wasn't hurt. Why? He's Maryada Purushottam. He's not attached to the material things of the world. But in today's world, if we hear that somebody else get in the house, you know what happened? Jai Shri Ram. It's problem. In today's world, what we just do, we just fight for what? 2 inshallah. Shri Ram is teaching us. A big kingdom, he says, no problem. Do not become attached to these things. My dear friends, Shri Ram begins to prepare himself. He strips himself from all of the crown and the jewelry, etc. And he dresses in his saffron robe. And as he is now preparing himself to leave, what takes place? Goswami Tulsidas Ji tells to us this evening. Jaya Rama Shri Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Jaya Rama Shri Rama, Jaya 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 Rama, Sri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. करी पीलप सब रोवा हिमरानी, सीता बिलप के मजय बकानी। बोलो जय राम श्री रामा, जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय रामा, जय जय रामा। सुनी बिलप दुका कहलागा, लक्ष्मण राजो कररी कराजा। बोलो जय राम श्री रामा, जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय रामा, जय जय राम। बोलो श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। प्रभु श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्यापति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम। As Shri Ram dresses in that saffron robe, Sita Devi says, my Lord, it is one of our marriage vows that if you are to go in pilgrimage, or if you are to leave and go somewhere else to conduct business, I as your wife should be able to accompany you. My Lord, allow me to accompany you into the forest. And Sita now dresses in the saffron robe. Lakshman Bhaiya says, Bhaiya, I must accompany you too. Why Lakshman must accompany? When Shri Ram was in the form of Lord Vishnu, Sita Devi came in the form of Lakshmi Maya. And who was Lakshman? Lakshman was the Seshnag. In the form of Shri Ram, Sita Devi is Lakshmi Maya, and Lakshman is the Seshnag, the one to protect the avatar of Lord Vishnu. He's always there. And so Lakshman dressed in a saffron robe, and three of them, they are now leaving for the forest. According to the guidance of the Guru, they now found a suitable spot where they build a little kutia. And once they are living in that kutia, my dear friends, as days goes by, as the days are going by, my dear friends, the kingdom of Ayodhya seems to be very dark, filled with sorrow. Bharat says to Ram before he left, O Ram, give me a paduka, your sandal, your sapat. If you will not be living in luxury, then I will live in a kutia, the entrance of Ayodhya. And I will place your paduka, your sandal upon the throne, and by your blessing, O Ram, I will rule this kingdom until the day you return. But O Ram, do not allow a day to pass 14 years. Please return in 14 years. This is the love that these brothers had. Imagine Bharat is getting the kingdom and he refused to live in that kingdom because his brother is going to live in the forest. And he will live in a kutia just as his brother until he returns. Then he will come back in the forest, into the kingdom. In today's world, we wouldn't see that happening. We see where brothers are fighting each other for mama and papa house. Isn't that so? It's reality, it's nothing new. Some homes are blessed that we don't have these things. But many homes has these things. Either it's a curse or it's a blessing in disguise. My dear friends, the Raja, as Bharat is ruling, the Raja Dasrath falls sick. Day after day, he's getting more and more ill. And as Dasrath, my dear friends, is in grief, is in pain, just as the parents of Sarvan Kumar had grieved for their son and died, He's grieving for his son and he's dying slowly, my dear friends. How many of us in today's world, how many parents die out of grief for their children? My dear friends, as children, we must cherish our parents and we must make sure to take care of them and never allow them to grieve for you or for anything. Because when you were little, they ensured that you were well taken care of. They had made great sacrifices to make sure you are well taken care of. And now is your turn to take care of your parents and repay that karma. So when you have to take care of your parents, my dear friends, do not see it as a burden, but see it as a blessing. Raja Dasarath has been well taken care of, but he's dying out of grief for his son. Do not let your parents grieve for you or anything in this world. My dear friends, the day came when Raja Dasarath is lying there and his breath is flickering. And as his breath is flickering, he's calling Ram. Why he wants to see Ram? His desire is to meet with his son Ram. But even though Ram is his son, Ram is whom? Maryada Purushottam, the Lord of the universe. How many of us in today's world have a craving to meet God? We may not see God like how he will see Ram. But how many of us have a craving to, when time to go to Satsang, Puja, Yagna, Mandir? How many of us has craved to go to these things? To engage in devotion and prayer, to be in the company of the Devatas, the Devis, and the holy and sacred ones. How many of us has like to go to these things? My dear friends, if you are a true Bhakta of God, you would have a craving to be in the company of Satsang and Puja, wherever God is worshipped. And we must have a craving in this world for God, because at the end of the cycle of this life, we should attain God, liberation. And he has his craving for Ram. He's calling his Ram. And his breath is flickering at his throat. And so, as he calls out Ram, with his sons we join. Together, as Raja Dasarath calls to that Lord, this evening let us also chant the name of Ram. And let us also call the name of that divine Lord. So that when that time comes for us to leave the body, we shall attain that divine. My dear friends, as he's calling Shri Ram, this evening with love and devotion, let us chant together that beautiful Maha mantra. It is said the Maha mantra leads you to what? To Mukti, the oneness of God. This evening we are here gathered together to celebrate the life of the Father of this home. We are praying for his soul to meet God. Paramatma, through the medium of chanting, we can help him. This evening, let us chant together. As Raja Dasarath is craving to meet that Lord, our craving too is to meet with that Lord. Garupran says the Atma this time is craving to hear the Maha Mantra. The Atma this time is craving to see God. And when we join in satsang like this and we chant together, we are helping that soul on that beautiful journey. Together, let us chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. So this evening I will tell you all a secret. This Baba don't hear too good. So in order for me to hear or you're singing, you know you have only mass, I can't see the mouth of it moving. You have to sing a little bit louder, right? Tonight, a little bit louder for the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. My dear friends and devotees, whilst you chant this evening in your minds, offer a silent prayer for that soul that have gone to the beyond. I'm sure that He would have touched each and every one of you in some special way, in some way or the other. For the children of this home, thank God for your father. Thank God for all that He has done for you this evening. And take this opportunity this evening to offer a prayer for him, my dear friends. Together, let us chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. My dear friends, Ramayana says, Bhare Bhagya Manusha Tanupava. The human birth is the greatest gift from God, and use it to serve God. This evening, God has blessed us with hands. What He blessed us with hands for? To serve Him. This evening, we are using the voice to sing the praises of God. But tonight, let us use our hands to clap and to glorify God this evening. Chant, clap, and let us celebrate the life of our beloved Father of this home. Let us pray to the Divine Lord. May that soul find mukti, moksha, oneness with His Supreme. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, 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 Hari, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Bode Siyapati Ramachandra ki. Raja Dasrath chanting that name, the breath leaves the body. And as the breath leaves the body going forth, my dear friends and devotees, they begin to make preparations. But whilst they are preparing to make preparation, the ministers goes into the forest and they tell to Shri Ram that his father is no longer. Please return and perform his rites and rituals. But Shri Ram says, my father's wish is that I remain in the forest for 14 years. My father gave his word that I will remain there for 14 years. Go ahead, perform the samskar, perform the rituals, and I will do what I have to do in the forest. Whilst they are preparing to dispose of the body of Raja Dasrath, my dear friends, Garuda Puran says, how soon should we dispose of the body? As soon as possible. As soon as possible. Sanatana Dharma teaches us there are 5 ways of disposing of the body by any one of the elements. But the greatest amongst all is cremation. Why? This body has 5 elements. The first element to leave the body is the element of space. Mere moments before death, the body is filled with liquid and the body cannot create sound. Thereby you will realize, mere moments before death, a person will not be able to speak. Sometimes days before, this space is no longer. The second element to leave the body is pran, the breath, the air. When somebody is no longer breathing, what does it mean? Mar gaya, the person is no longer. So the second element. The third element to leave the body is the fire element. If you were to feel your hands, you will feel heat. When someone dies, the heat leaves the body. Garuda Puran says we must leave that body there and allow the heat to leave naturally before removing that body. Leaving now 2 elements. The earth element which creates the body and the water element, the liquid within the body. He says these 2 elements should be disposed of as soon as possible. This is why cremation is the greatest amongst all in Sanatana Dharma. And so, as they are preparing this body for the cremation, as Bharat and Satruhan, they are preparing to perform these rituals, they will shave their head immediately. According to Garuda Puran, when our relatives die and we are the karma karta, so the persons who are performing the rituals are called the karma karta, they will shave their head. Why? It signifies the period of mourning. From the time you see someone with their head shaved with a churki, immediately you know that someone has passed. Shaving the head, they prepare themselves. Dressing the body beautifully, about to place it on the rath. Garuda Puran says we should place black til and kush grass and spots of gobar before resting the body. And then where the body is to be placed, we will besmear what? Gobar. Have you noticed before placing the box, we will put gobar? Why? Gobar is to purify that spot. But Garuda Puran tells how big should we repair that spot? It should actually be a circle, not a rectangle. Why? Today we repair a rectangle because we don't want to dirty the ground too much. But it should be a circle according to Garuda Puran. Why? The box should fit and the karma karta should be able to walk around on that holy spot. This is the reason why. And also he says, taking that body and placing it there, they are now about to perform the rituals. And whilst they are about to perform these rituals, my dear friends and devotees, everyone is looking on. And whilst they are looking at what is taking place, whilst they are looking at all of the rituals, my dear friends, the wonderful sons, they now take the water and they are walking around the box, sprinkling that water, performing purification. Performing purification, they now take the chandan and they are about to place it on the forehead. When we are alive, the chandan is placed upwards because there's a jiva life force within the body. But when, my dear friends and devotees, there is no longer life within the body, Garuda Puran says the chandan is placed downwards or as a mere dot. When we are placing chandan on our pityas, our murtis, and for each other, we use which finger? This finger, isn't that so? And when we are placing it upon the body, which finger do we use? Garuda Puran teaches us, and even Manusmriti teaches us, our Vedas. This finger we don't use. This finger we place chandan for the devatas and each other because there is Bhagwan within everyone. This finger we use to place chandan for ourselves. Whenever you have to place chandan for yourself, this is the finger that you use. This finger, however, is used for Pitri Puja. This is the finger that you will place chandan upon the body. This is the finger when you perform the Shraddha, the 10 days and the 13 days Shraddha. a ring will be placed in this finger and as well in this finger. For the funeral, for the Dasgat, and for the Shraddh. And this finger is used to place all of the Chandan and Shraddh. Have you ever noticed? And this finger is for the Guru, the Pundit, to place Chandan. This part of your hand is called the Tirtha. This is where all of your Pitri offerings are made. When you offer water for Pitris, how do we offer it? Through here, the Tirtha. When we perform Pitri Havan, Devta Havan, we offer like this. And Pitri Havan, we offer like this. Because this is the Tirtha, all the offerings should come from here. And so, placing that Chandan, they offer the Sugandham, the perfume. Why do we offer perfume? The perfume is there for a short space of time. It smells high, and then what happens? The scent dies out. It's reminding us, oh man, you're here for a short space of time. You're here for a short space of time. We join beautifully. The bhajan tells to us what we should be doing. Jyoti chana magavaya sadhu, Jyoti chana magavaya sadhu, Jyoti chana magavaya, Jyoti chana magavaya sadhu, Jyoti chana magavaya sadhu, Jyoti chana magavaya. Oh man, foolishly you are wasting your life running after the material things of this world. We're here for a short space of time. Do not run after the material things of this world, my dear friends. Whilst you are here, use this body for what? To serve God. Use this body to serve God, so at the end of the cycle of this life, you attain God. The question is posed before us, how do we serve God? My dear friends, many of us think to serve God, we get up in the morning for 10 Lota Adhar. In the evening light, all the diya I have in the house. My dear friends and devotees, that is great. Your rituals are wonderful. But not every day might be able to get up and offer Adhar. Not every day might be able to light a diya. How will you serve God? Service to humanity is service to God. Every day when you get the opportunity to help somebody, grasp that opportunity. Every day when you get the opportunity to tell somebody something good to help them in life, grasp that opportunity. Do it from your heart, and when you do such, my dear friends, you are serving God. The bhajan says, do not run after the material things of this world. Do not make it a priority. Nobody says, do not enjoy a beautiful home. You could have a big mahal, it's fine. Do not become attached to it. You could have all the gold in the world, do not become attached to it. You could have all the vehicle, that's okay. But do not become attached to it. Enjoy it to the fullest. We are placed here to enjoy these things. But do not make it your priority. And do not become attached to it. Become attached to God, my dear friends. The bhajan tells to us. एक पिता के हम सब लड़के डरती हमारे माता मैया डरती हमारे माता कुतुम कलब के संग न साथे काला बंग का भाषा साधु काला बन का जाता ज्योति जन्म गवाया ज्योति जन्म गवाया साधु ज्योति जन्म गवाया ज्योति जन्म गवाया साधु ज्योति जन्म गवाया साधु ज्योति जन्म So the perfume tells to us, do not become attached to this world. We are here for a short space of time. And once we are here for a short space of time, what you must do? Live in peace, not pieces, but in peace. Live in harmony and unity, togetherness. Because we are here today, but we don't know for, much less for tonight. So live in peace and harmony. Do not wait for when somebody is lying on a death row then to come to talk. Don't wait for when somebody is dead then to attend the funeral. Live in peace now, my dear friends. And so, the perfume is offered. He takes the mala, and as he bursts the mala is telling, as you burst the mala, we detach ourselves from the material world and onto the spiritual realm. placing that mala, they hold the arti. Have you noticed when we perform the funeral ceremony, the arti is lit with what? Camphor. Why? The camphor burns to what? To nothing. And when we offer the camphor arti, we are saying, Bhagwan, as this camphor is burning, may you burn my karma that have brought me here. Holding that arti, he begins to pray. He's offering arti. And after offering that beautiful arti, my dear devotees and bhaktas, they perform 5 mansil, 5 stops. Before meeting the cremation pyre, you perform how many? 5 mansil. 5 pindas are offered to offer gratitude to God, to the 5 elements, for allowing this Atma, the soul, a human body, whilst on the earth. And upon reaching to the Chitta, they began to place what? The tulsi leaf upon the lip, the sandalwood, the camphor, the gold. And they placed what? The Havan Samagri, rice, sugar, ghee, black till, gugul, pitch pine. Have you ever noticed this is what you place in the body? The very ingredients that you perform Havan? Why? Upon placing the body into the Chitta, a Havan is also performed to Karavagin Devta. My dear friends and devotees, your life is like a puja. Everything that you do in life is done as what? An offering to God. Everything that you do should be an offering to God. Everything that you do should be done in the name of who? God. So your life is a puja. And when we are about to complete a puja and we perform the Havan, Baba does tell you, he said, bait kachi the terrier and put it in a pan leaf. Isn't that so? You all know it's the kachi, right? Jai Bhagwan. And Baba will wrap it with a jaipal or nutmeg. And there you perform the Purna Mahuti, the final and complete offering. In life, what is the complete and final offering? This body. This body is the Purna Mahuti to complete this life. This is why it is placed in the fire with all of this samagri. And as he holds that puchara and walks around the chitta, performing pradakshina 5 times, he's about to light the fire. But as he's about to light that fire, my dear friends, everybody gathered there, you know what they are noticing? The king has died. The king of this home has gone. And even though that the king has gone, so many material things he has, but what does he carry with him? So many things we have. Uncle has gone, but the house is still here. Everything is here. My dear friends, what would we carry with us when we depart from this world? The bhajan says very beautifully, Are koi nar jaile dhan ban ke gatariya, koi nar jaile dhan ban ke gatariya, 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 re koi nar jaile Danabanake. Yes, stand with a gatariya. What is the gatariya pot? What is the pot? The soul. What you full in this pot is what you will carry with you. But the question is, what you could full in this pot? The 2-inch land you just kill and fight for does remain here for more people to kill and fight for. You ever see anybody carry 2-inch land? Mama Bera that you don't talk to your brother and sister for years for, that is remain right here, somebody could melt it and sell it. The body we just boast about who black and white and fat and thin and who ugly and pretty, that does remain here and burned by the creek. What is the pride and abhiman about? When nothing really belongs to us in this world. What can you take with you? You see the good things that you have done? And you thought you didn't get recognition for it, but you did it from your heart, you're carrying that. Not the good things you did and post on social media for name and fame, that remain right here, that have no punya. Only punya na rin. And you see the bad things that you did and you thought you get away? Jai Bhagwan, you're carrying that with you. The only thing you can carry with you when you depart from this world is the good and the bad that you have done. Karma Pradanik Samrata. Only the good and the bad things that you have done is what you would carry. Hence, I remind you this evening, do good, my dear friends. As they are looking, the Raja is going. Death does not distinguish between the king nor the beggar. He calls for everyone. He is going how empty-handed. When you come in the world, you come like this. When you die, how it does go? The bhajan says very beautifully, the only one to ferry the boat of life across the ocean of mundane existence is Bhagwan. एक दिन चोटी जाए संसार, एक दिन चोटी जाए संसार, एक दिन चोटी जाए संसार, ओ एक दिन चोटी जाए. The bhajan says, one day to come we all will leave behind this world of Mahamaya, this world of illusion. जिनके लाका पढ़ी पर है, जिनके लाका पढ़ी पर है, जातो हाथ प्रसारो, जातो हाथ प्रसारो, एक दिन चोटे जाए संसार. The bhajan says, even those who are blessed with great wealth leave empty-handed, my dear friends. All the money we have in the world remains right here. Or one sickness take care and all the money gone. What is the pride and the abhiman and ego about, my dear friends? Raja rang ka koi kalane thi, राजा रंग का कोई कल नहीं, सबका करत यहारो, सबका करत यहारो, एक दिन चोटी जाए संसार, एक दिन चोटी जाए संसार. The bhajan says, death does not distinguish between the king nor the beggar, before he calls for everyone, my dear friends. The bhajan continues to say, even the one who studies the Vedas and the Puranas, those who study the Vedas and the Puranas live in grief still, my dear friends. Why? Because we cannot grasp the mystery of death, my dear devotees. For the only one to ferry the boat of life is who? Bhagwan, my dear friends. Whatever name you may call God, whatever form you may visualize God to be, my dear friends, only God is the one to ferry your life through this ocean of mundane existence. Veda Purana Grantha Bahu Vidhi Pada, Veda Purana Grantha Bahu Vidhi Pada, Koi na pavat paro, Koi na pavat paro, ek din jyoti jaye sansar. बहु सागर में जीवन नैया, बहु सागर में जीवन नैया, राम लगावत पारो, राम लगावत पार, एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार, एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार, ओ एक दिन ज्योति जाए संसार. My dear friends, death does not distinguish between the king and the beggar. It calls for everyone. In the days where we feel if we have a little money, we can live longer than the poor people. One sickness, take all your money, go and buy a doctor. my dear friends, as they are about to light the body of Raja Dasrath, where do we light the body? By the foot? Do we light the body? By the foot, eh? By the mouth. Why by the mouth? In this body, my dear friends and devotees, every part of your body, there are Devis and Devatas reside in. And on the mouth, who does reside? Agni Devata. When fire burn you, what does happen? You just get what? Scorch, burning. And sometimes when people tell you things, what does happen? It leaves you scorched. Because Agni Devata resides in the mouth. This is why the fire is consecrated at the mouth, my dear friends. And lighting that fire, everybody is looking on at what is taking place. And everybody realized that this king has died, and what did he carry? Nothing. Then, my dear friends and devotees, why do we fight and run after the material things of this world? Enjoy it, but do not become attached to it. Do not fight for these things because you can't carry it. What we should be fighting for? Dharma, righteousness. Bhagavan said, Dharma rakshite rakshite dharma. Those who protect dharma, dharma will protect them. So continue to stand for what is the right thing and don't fight for the adharmic things. There's a beautiful kahani that says there once lived a king and his servant. And the king, my dear devotees and bhaktas, he's sitting on the throne and his servant at the gateway. So Yamraj came. Who is Yamraj? The Lord of Death. And as Yamraj came, he told his servant, I'm here to meet with the Raja, the king. He said, listen, you have to wait by the gate. I'll go inside and bring him come. So Yamraj said, listen, I'll make it a rounds and I'll come back, bring him by the gateway. So the servant went into the kingdom and he saw the Raja sitting on the throne. So he said, Raja, Yamraj want to meet with you. If you hear Yamraj want to meet with you, what time that is? Anybody know? Time to go. So the king now thought he was smart. You know, our leaders think they're smart, right? So he told his servant, listen, would you like to be king for a day? So the servant said, of course. So the king took out his garments and he gave it to the servant to wear. And the king now wore the servant garments. So he told his servant, who is disguised as the king, he said, well, you sit on the throne, use the king today. I go in by the gate. So Yamraj came. And when Yamraj came, he said, I thought I'd tell you, bring the king by the gate. He said, listen, the door open. Go straight in the kingdom, he's sitting on the throne, you go take him right there. Yamraj said, listen, time is against me. Forget the king, I'll carry you instead. For death does not distinguish between the king nor the beggar, falls for everyone. Bodhe Siya Pati Ramachandra ki Jai. My dear friends, devotees, this evening's pravachan and katha has taught us so many wonderful lessons for life. So many beautiful lessons that I hope and pray that we try to apply some of these lessons into our lives. Try to apply some of these lessons into our lives. This evening, it is a great blessing to join in celebrating the life of the father of this home. And whilst we do so, and whilst they have celebrated the life of the king of Ayodhya, my dear friends, Bharat, Lakshman, Satruhan, Shriram, they are all thinking about their father. But what they are doing, they are praying for his soul. This evening, I'd like to dedicate this wonderful song to the father of this home who has gone to the great beyond. As we take this opportunity to remember that soul, as they too are remembering the soul of Raja Dasrath, the king of Ayodhya, we remember the soul of the father of this home. Tujhe suraj kahu ya chanda, tujhe deep kahu ya tara, mera naam karega roshan, jag mein mera raj dulara. This evening, my dear friends, if your father is alive, offer prayer for him. Pray for him for good life and good health. And if your father is no longer, offer prayer for his soul. For the children of this home this evening, offer prayer for the soul of your father. Remember the beautiful time that he would have spent with you upon this earth, and thank God but had the opportunity to spend time with Him. तुझे सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीप कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. This evening, remember the time when the father would have taught the children of this home to walk, to ride your bicycle. And every time that you fell, you know what he reminded you? It's okay. Get up. You could do it. You could climb these stairs. You could ride this bike. In life, every time that you fell, he would have lifted you and reminded you how great you are. He would have reminded you how to become successful. Today, because of your father, you are who you are. The great individual that you are today, it's all because of your parents. Today your father is no longer, but today remember him and salute him for all that he has done for you. Provide for your welfare, provide for your comfort, and ensure that you are always well taken care of. This evening, offer our prayer. आज उगले तमके तेरे, तुझे मैं चिरना सीना को, कल हाथ पकड़ना मेरा, जब मैं बड़ा हूँ जानू, तू मिलन तू मैंने पाया, जाने का नया सहारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. तुझे सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीप कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. The Father would have called you His son, His moon, His lamp, or His star. You were His joy, His pride, everything that He had. Life was empty till you, His children, reached in His life. For He was thirsting for that joy till you came and filled His heart with everlasting joy. मेरा करता काले खाले, छाये थी जब उदासी, जीवनता सोना सोना, हर आसी प्यासी प्यासी, तेरा आती है खुशियों से, बागया जीवन सहारा, मेरा नाम जग में मेरा राज दुलारा. तुझे सूरज कहूँ या चंदा, तुझे दीप कहूँ या तारा, मेरा नाम करेगा रोशन, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा, जग में मेरा राज दुलारा, जग में मेरा राज. Basdeo Mahadeo ki jai. This evening, terminating our pravachan with love dedicated to the feet of the father of this home, I invite you all to sit upright and let us clasp our hands. Let us bow our heads in pratna, in prayer. This evening, as we terminate our pravachan, as we terminate our katha, my dear devotees and bhaktas, we offer a prayer for the father of the soul. Bhagwan, wherever that soul is journeying, may you bless that soul. Prabhu, if he has done anything wrong whilst upon this earth, knowingly or unknowingly, Bhagwan, may you please forgive him. Chama karo, raksha karo. He was only the form of a human being. Let us all pray. Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Chararanam Yat pujitam maya deva paripurnam tarasrame. Kahena vacha manasendreva puryatmana va prakatim subautam. Karome yagya sakalam parashmai Narayanaiti samarapayami. Together. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva bhandro jasaka tvameva vidya ravinam tvameva sarvam mama deva jyoti bindu paramatma se ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन. Offer a prayer for that soul. परमानंदन अनुभव कर लो परमानंदन अनुभव कर लो धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन. ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति. But it said, don't think of him as gone away. His journey is just begun. Life holds so many facts as earth is only one. Just think of him as resting from the sorrows and tears in a place of warmth and comfort where there are no days and years. Think how he must be wishing today how nothing but our sadness could really pass away. Think of him as living in the hearts of those he touched. For nothing loved is ever lost, and he was loved so much, my dear friends. Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Om Shanti Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. एक बार बोले गजानन स्वामी की, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, सियापति रामचंद्र की, श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की, राम नाम सत्य है. This evening, let me take the opportunity to thank the members of this family for giving us the opportunity to come and join with you all in Pravachan and of course in Katha. Also let me thank our wonderful Bhaiya Kishan Bihari and of course Media Concepts 29 for taking our satsang throughout the globe to the home of many devotees and bhaktas. Also let me thank Uncle Zim and Amir, Sumant and of course our wonderful Bhaiya joining with us this evening, Brandon Punwasi. Bhagwan's blessings to you all. May the Divine Lord continue to guide and protect each and every one of you. Special thank you to all those joining with us via our live stream this evening. May Bhagwan Shri Krishna richly bless each and every one. Jai Sitaram.